With one swing of the bat from a future Hall of Famer, the Athletics' hopes of a Game 1 victory in a rivalry series versus the Halos evaporated. Albert Pujols and the Angels continued their dominance versus the A's in 2015. A sloppy 7th inning buried the A's as the bullpen and defense continued to haunt the green and gold. Today, the A's will regroup, sleep fast, and move on, sending Jesse Hahn to the hill. The young right-hander is coming off a fine start in San Diego, where he cruised to a victory versus his former team. It's Game 2. A's-Angels next. It's a beautiful day for baseball at the O.co Coliseum. A's will try to bounce back after a tough loss last night. That was one of the reasons right there. Albert Pujols with a grand slam last night. Jesse Hahn will take them out for the A's as it's Game 2 of this 3-game series. A's-Angels coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Jesse Hahn will make his 14th start of the year, Ray, and he's really pitching well. And he's pitching like a guy who's been in the big leagues for 4 or 5 years. There's a lot of composure by this young man. 4
out of the last 5 starts, he's been close to double figures in ground ball outs, 10 a couple of times, 9 the other 2 times. What he has done has been outstanding. I thought especially against the San Diego Padres, a team that traded him. He got strikeouts. He went 6 2/3 inning. Did a great job against the Padres of picking up his 4th win. He'll try to even his record today. But if you look what the Padres did against the Athletics in the final game, they shut them down after the A's scored all those runs. Maybe the A's can do that today with Jesse Hahn.
Now, we all know about the Angels and Trout and Pujols. They're always tough on the A's. But a guy who has really hurt the A's this year is Johnny Giavotella. Little second baseman, plays a lot like Dustin Pedroia, and he has had some big hits.
They call him Johnny Baseball for a reason, because he's gritty, he's gutty. Big 3-run home run down in Anaheim. He seems to always do well, especially if you fall behind him, as he did last night with a double to left field. He's a very good player, and I think the Angels are happy to have the production from him, considering they traded Howie Kendrick, who's doing a great job with the Dodgers. But Johnny Baseball is doing it for the Angels. Mike Scioscia happy to have him in there.
Yeah, 9 RBIs in 11 games versus the A's this year. So Jesse Hahn and Jared Weaver is your pitching matchup today for Game 2 of this 3-game series. It's a beautiful day for baseball as we get set for the A's and the Angels. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back.
California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Lineup cards being exchanged. Stephen Vogt gets the honors this afternoon. Vogt's name is in there, and he's going to DH today. So we'll call it a half a day off for Stephen Vogt. So that meeting is over at home plate. Game time weather for today presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Very nice day. 66 degrees, just a light breeze. And a few puffy white clouds in the sky, but I always enjoy day baseball here at the Coliseum, and the weather's just about right. Let's look at the lineup for the visiting Angels of Anaheim. Efrain Navarro again in the leadoff spot in left field. Cole Calhoun in right. Mike Trout in center. Albert Pujols is at first. He hit the grand slam last night. Eric Aybar moves up to the fifth spot. Johnny Giavotella is hitting sixth. Matt Joyce will DH. Kyle Kubica is the third baseman, and Carlos Perez does the catching and bats ninth.
Jesse Hahn won start against the Angels, and so this is second, but a big day for him as he tries to even his record to 5-5 on the season, coming off an outstanding start and coming off of actually pitching very well in the month of June, as we detailed in our open. So Jesse Hahn, last start, had the sinker working, good curveball, elevated his fastball, and he'll try to even the series for the Athletics today with a big win that would even his season record for the big right-hander.
So as Hahn finishes up his warm-up tosses, here's a look at the A's defense. Zobrist, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield. Laurie at third, Simeon at short, Sogard at second, Davis at first. And with Vogt, the DH, Josh Begley is the catcher. So Bob Melvin trying to get his troops to bounce back from what we have decided, Ray, you and I, that last night's loss, maybe the worst of the year, just from a disappointment factor and actually a surprise factor with the big lead and the ace Sonny Gray on the mound. But we'll put last night's game away and get ready for this afternoon's contest as Jesse Hahn kicks and fires and Navarro fouls the first pitch back. So the sixth time the A's led by at least 5 runs after 6 innings and lost, and that's in Oakland A's history. So you got to go back to 1968. Pitch is high, 1-1 the count. So the A's come in with a 29-41 record. This is game number 71. They're 12-20 at home and 4-7 against the Angels this year. So the Angels have been a little bit tough on the A's so far. This is the 4th of 6 series between these two teams. After this, we probably won't see him for a while. Would that be accurate? I know we see him the last week of the season.
That would be right.
That one is lined towards Zobrist in left. He's there and he grabs it. So it's out number 1. That's Greg Gibson calling balls and strikes. Chris Siegel's at first. Marvin Hudson is at second. And the crew chief, Jim Joyce, is down at third. So 1 away, and here's Cole Calhoun. And so after this series, the Angels will be back here in Oakland at the beginning of September. And the A's will be in Anaheim the final week of the season.
Yeah. Mike Scioscia, the manager, Dino Ebel, the bench coach, as Gary DiSarcina has taken over the coaching third base job. So Dino has his thoughts, dreams of being a manager. So he's standing next alongside one of the best. 16th season for the veteran Mike Scioscia. Still can't believe somebody's wearing number 14 for the Dodgers. You know, that's a number that you'd think be retired, man. Great catcher for the Dodgers, but young man who scored on a balk the other night against the Mariners.
Little pop-up, and it's grabbed by Sogard. Cole Calhoun is retired. So 2 outs here in the first inning. And then I'll bring up Mike Trout, who's got a home run against Jesse Hahn this year.
Well, it was one of the few. He does not give up many. Fastball. And I always just like to look at the pitchers because they tell you the result. As Jesse Hahn just said, give me another baseball. He knew, sound of the crack of the bat. Mike Trout's going to hit a whole bunch before his career is over. So to be on that list Not a bad list to be on.
First pitch to Trout is just a bit high. Trout with 18 home runs this year, 41 RBIs, and a .299 batting average. He's got 76 hits, 16 doubles, and a triple to go along with the 18 home runs. Albert Pujols leads the American League in home runs. Trout and Cruz and Teixeira are tied for second. Grounded slowly towards Simeon, who scoops, throws, side retired. Good first inning for Jesse Howes. 3 up, 3 down. So here come the A's in the bottom of the first, and they will take on that man, Jared Weaver. Starts with Billy Burns, the center fielder, then Simeon, Vogt, who will DH. Zobrist sits in the cleanup spot. Reddick, Davis, Laurie, Fegley, and Sogard.
Hey, you think Jared Weaver's pitched enough against the Athletics? 33rd start for this right-hander. 16 home runs allowed this season. 4-7 record. He's faced the A's twice this year. Both times, Sonny Gray was on the mound for the Athletics, and Jared Weaver, although he lost one and a no decision, he's pitched well against the A's, especially after enduring a couple of tough first innings. But he knows how to pitch. He will use his assortment of pitches. Nothing overpowering, but just a very crafty, good veteran pitcher.
First pitch to Burns is high. Burns .323, couple of home runs, 14 RBIs.
It's rare you say crafty about a right-hander, but I always think about him being someone who is crafty in a sense. He knows how to use his pitches. He knows how to use the plate. Figure lefties are the crafty ones, but Jared Weaver knows how to pitch.
2-0 the count with Simeon to follow, and then Vogt. Kubica in on the grass, and it's popped up. Foul territory, but the catcher Carlos Perez is there, and he grabs it. So that's out number 1. Defensively, for the Angels, they line up like this: Navarro in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right. Kubica at third, Ibar at short, Giavotella at second, and Pujols at first, with Carlos Perez doing the catching today.
One of the worst pitches for Billy Burns is kind of a waist-high fastball inside corner, and he just found out because he popped it up. And it's a pitch that, as we have talked, with the ball on the ground, used the speed. 3 infield hits last night for Billy Burns, but a pop-up off the veteran Weaver.
So 82 miles an hour. Simeon swings through it just a little at the high end of the strike zone.
Faced the A's for 13 innings total in the 2 starts, 20 fly ball outs, Cap. So he's a fly ball pitcher, and the problem is you try to look for too much and you get out in front, have just the bat, and you end up popping the ball up, as Billy Burns did leading off the inning.
83 mile an hour fastball fouled straight back. So there's been a lot of chatter about the velocity of Weaver and how much it has gone down. It's His average fastball velocity this year, 84 miles an hour. See, R.A. Dickey is the leader, and R.A. Dickey's, he doesn't care. He's probably okay with being on the top of that list. He's a knuckleball.
Well, the other, Mark Burley. I mean, Burley doesn't break a pane of glass, but you know these guys know how to pitch, and you lose velocity, you become a smart pitcher, and you definitely know that about Burley. I've not seen him yet this year, but Weaver we have. And
Navarro's back. It's going to be over his head. Bangs off the wall. He grabs it, fires it back in, and Semien just in with a head-first slide. So Semien has a double. It's his 13th double this year.
Swung at some high fastballs, and then Weaver actually threw one down in his wheelhouse, tailing inside to him, and Navarro. You know, you could think, definitely wasn't hit hard enough to be a home run, but he made a very good play, barehanded the ball off the wall. Semien had to really bust it to get to second base, showing off his speed, made the nice turn, and had to go head first into second to make sure he made it safely.
So an early opportunity for the A's as Stephen Vogt steps in. First pitch to Vogt is a strike. Big light last night for Vogt. A couple of hits, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs. He scored twice. He walked. He did a little bit of everything. The home run was his 13th of the year.
Look at this off-speed pitch, the curveball hanger, and Matt Shoemaker knew it. Calhoun, great effort, but the ball over the right field wall. Well, things were looking great for the Athletics. Matt Shoemaker didn't have his best outing, but ended up getting a no decision.
And that one's belted high, deep, but foul. Vogt was well out in front. So last year to this year for Stephen Vogt. Last year 35 RBIs with 9 home runs. This year already 13 homers, 50 RBIs, and the A's are playing their 71st game. Pitch is line foul. Vogt is second in the American League in RBIs with 50. The only guy who has more is Miguel Cabrera, and he's got 51. So that is really all you need to know about the season that Stephen Vogt has had.
I think also, Cap, you think about catching last night. He's taking a beating. It'd be great to have a day off, day after night game. But Bob Melvin, they were talking after the game last night, perhaps talking about DHing today, which he is.
Another liner, this one foul. Well, I mean, I think you could probably say that from day one, Stephen Vogt has been the A's best offensive player this year, and he's hard to take out. Hey, it's the American League. You can use that DH spot to give guys a little bit of a break, and it's a nice luxury to have. One-two pitch is outside, 85 miles an hour.
You know, Marcus Semien swung at a couple of high fastballs from Jared Weaver, were fouled back and ended up hitting the double. But until Greg Gibson really establishes his strike zone, I mean, it's tough for Stephen Vogt now with 2 strikes as it was for Semien, but he's not calling a high strike.
Vogt reached for that one, fouls it back.
I mean, you know the velocity of your starting pitcher is mid-80s, and you can wait. Stephen Vogt did then, saw the hanging curveball and swung late, but tried to protect, not wanting Greg Gibson to make the call.
Zobrist to follow here in the first. Inside, off-speed pitch, so now 3-2.
I think it's got to be a fastball. And if it is, it's going to be kind of a BP fastball. Take something a little bit off. But this is when a hitter cannot say he's going to throw me a fastball. He's got an assortment. He's probably shaking with Perez to get the pitch he wants.
And here it is, and it's lined to right. Headed for the corner. And that's going to get the A's on the board as Semien scores. Vogt hustling to second, and he's just in there ahead of the tag. A's lead 1-0.
Stephen, like Marcus Semien, hit it very hard and had to really hurry. And the overthrow by Weaver, Perez set up outside, the ball towards the middle of the plate in. And Stephen Vogt with Calhoun, a very strong arm, and it took running hard and sliding head first to make it in safely. And Stephen Vogt gets yet another run batted in, 51, and a big swing, big at bat for Stephen Vogt. He fought, kept fouling off tough pitches, ended up having a 9-pitch at bat to drive in a run.
So Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Ben Zobrist will try to get Vogt home. Zobrist 248 with 4 home runs, 24 runs batted in. And that one just missed, 1-1 the count. Zobrist 2 hits last night, a homer and a double, just like Vogt. That changeup, 75 miles an hour. It almost looks like about halfway to home plate. It stops.
But you know, if his fastball is 84, 85, you know the differential's there. And last night, 2-0 fastball for Matt Shoemaker, first inning, 3-run home run. And at that point with Sonny Gray, you figure the A's going to win the first game of the series. I mean, it's not like Sonny Gray needs a whole bunch of runs. A's ended up scoring 7. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Zobrist towards shallow center. Trout hustling in, and Trout reaches up to make the catch. So 2 away here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Reddick. Well, Weaver has been struggling a little bit as of late. He's lost his last 3 starts, and in those 3 starts, he's allowed 15 earned runs in 20 and a third innings. So maybe the A's are catch him in a good time, but it's been a kind of a strange year for Weaver. Before that, he was very good for a stretch, but he started the year 0-4. So he started 0-4, then had that nice stretch of 5 starts, and now struggling in his last 3. Overall 4-7.
Jared Weaver's brother Jeff pitched for the Tigers, and the Tigers of course had a left-handed pitcher before that by the name of Frank Tanana, who threw the ball 95-96, lost it, and became basically a finesse pitcher from the left side. Bob Melvin actually caught Tanana. Your brother and I faced Tanana, and he was throwing 95-98. And of course he pitched the no-hitter, but he became a different type of pitcher. And Jared Weaver is kind of the same mode, trying to do the same thing, and that does not help when you have 31, make it 43 from 3 starters, giving up the long ball.
Good swing by Reddick, fouls it straight back. But we've also seen pitchers, sometimes this, whatever you want to call it, conversion to a different style of pitching, it may take a year or 2. Some of them never get it.
Well, they go from being able to blow a fastball by somebody to have to nibble and be a controlled pitcher. And Jared Weaver has always been the one, a lot of confidence in all of his pitches.
And a foul tip, and it's going to be a strikeout. So the A's get a run, back-to-back doubles by Semien and Vogt. So after 1 here in Oakland, it's the A's 1 and the Angels nothing. It's Albert Pujols, career home run number 540. It was a grand slam, and that gave the Angels the lead. Big comeback. So he was one of the heroes last night, Albert Pujols, and when he came up, you could sort of feel the game slipping away a little bit.
Well, the A's were hopeful of getting a ground ball for double play. They got a line drive that that's what they were hoping for there, right there. That would have gotten out of the inning. And unfortunately, you know, they talk about a closed line, hanging close. That's what Albert hit last night down the left field line.
Well, that's as hard of a ball as we've seen hit in years.
Yeah.
It just went right over the wall.
And this one, a good sinker, and it's a difference there. That was a fastball handled nicely by Brett Lawrie. That was a splitter last night from Edward Mujica, and that he didn't hit it on the ground.
So 1 away. Here's Ibar. Ibar takes the first pitch strike from Hahn. Jesse Hahn 14 for 20 in shutdown innings this year. We mentioned in the open of our show and talking about Jesse Hahn how he was in the big leagues a couple months last year and he's been here from day one this year, but he really has a poise about him that makes him look like he's been around a while.
So, yeah. And maybe the 14 starts last year for San Diego, moving in the American League, and kind of established himself last year. And see right there, he just threw a curveball for strike 2 and then elevated a fastball. So he's got the good sinker, and as we've talked before, Jesse does not want to be strong enough that he strikes out hitters. He wants the ground balls, as he did in Kansas City when the blister formed. This guy's always a pesky hitter. Another good curveball with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Ibar had a couple of hits last night, and he had been struggling. He was 1 for his last 27 going into last night's game. So I would imagine the Angels were thrilled to see him right in the middle of the offense. Scored a couple of runs. Davis has it. He'll flip it to Hahn, and Hahn gets there ahead of Ibar, 2 out. Home runs allowed. So the A's starters have done a good job. Just 3 by Hahn, 4 by Jesse Chavez, and just 4 by Sonny Gray. These guys have all thrown quite a few innings.
And the reason those guys are on that list there is because of sinker ball. They keep the ball down. They throw sinkers. They get a lot of ground ball outs. And of course, Jesse Chavez in rotation for the 2nd consecutive year, 21 starts last year, and I think he hopes to stay in the rotation all 6 months.
And we like to go off of the 1 home run per 10 innings is pretty good. So if you throw 200 innings as a season as a starter and you allow a total of 20 home runs, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything less than that is really good. 0-1 to Giavotella. Johnny Giavotella hitting .278, 3 home runs, 25 RBIs. Foul to the backstop.
And watch Jesse Hahn. He'll get the ball back from Fegley while Giavotella is setting up to get ready to hit. Jesse Hahn's going to set himself up, and he's going to end up waiting a long time. He's ready to go right now. And watch, Chris Giavotella found the ball, so he is allowed to step out of the batter's box. But all this time, Jesse's ready, and that's what you like as a pitcher, to watch him be ready to go, get the bat in the batter's box, and get a nice little rhythm going.
Pitch, breaking ball is outside.
The sharp breaking ball that he just threw to Giavotella, that's the same one that's been hitting the left-handers because it breaks sharply in on them. But it's a good chase pitch, trying to do it with the 1 and 2 count. Now this is the go-get-'em pitch.
Shallow left field. Zobrist coming in, Simeon out, and it drops in for a hit.
I don't know.
Giovatello with a base hit.
I don't know that Simeon saw the ball immediately off the bat because he got a late break. And curveball that Giovatello got under it, hit it towards the end of the bat. But watch Simeon and see that he just enough of a slow break and maybe initially not picking up the ball off the bat. A bright sunny day and maybe a little bit difficult with the light shirts behind to see it come off the bat. And all it takes is just a moment.
So that's the first hit for the Angels, and here's Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce, the DH again today. And he takes the first pitch low. Joyce last night was 1 for 4, had a run scored and an RBI.
Everybody had it in the 7th inning, it seemed.
Yeah.
Including Joyce.
What did he get? 13 men to the plate? 12, 13? Yeah. Lose track after a while.
Too many, especially when the first 4 reached.
Simeon playing right behind second base for Joyce, and now it's 2-0. Angels are 35-33 on the year. They are 4.5 games back of the Astros, so they picked up a game on the Astros after last night. They're 16-18 on the road. Fouled straight back.
And this happened last night, and Brett Lloyd ranging too far to his left, bobbled the ball. And then Zobrist on Trout's ball. Sac fly E7. E1 with Ibar Bonning going to second, and this is the big one because that was a clutch hit, a nice inside move by Scribner, and Brett Lloyd's glove just let him down. All those gloves.
And really those errors, they were all part of the Angels scoring in last night's game, right in the middle of the scoring.
Well, we figured that the 7th inning they got 6 outs. And when you give that many extra outs, you're going to end up on the losing side.
So the Angels received 6 walks last night, and 4 of those 6 scored. So they took advantage. They had 12 runs and 12 hits. They had 5 doubles. They had the home run. They had 21 base runners total, did the Angels. Giovatello with a good lead at first. And that one not close, so it's 3-1 with Kyle Kubica, the left-handed hitting third baseman, in the on-deck circle.
Well, a lot of throwovers, and of course they're concerned about the Angels hitting with 2 outs and down a run. Giovatello with the speed can't really take for granted they're not going to be running, and so a few throwovers to first base for Hahn, first time out of the stretch in this game.
And that one misses, and it's a walk. So 2 on 2 out for Kubica.
But the one thing Josh Phegley has shown when he has been behind the plate, he can shut down the running game. A very strong arm, almost to the point you can tell a pitcher forget about the runner. Of course, the throwovers come from the dugout. But Phegley's done a great job swinging the bat well, and his throwing maybe the best in the league.
So Hahn trying to get out of the jam here in the top of the 2nd inning. Kubica, the young third baseman, hitting .300. He's got 6 hits in 20 at bats, 6 singles. He's got 1 RBI. And the first pitch is inside. Angels think and hope that with David Freese being a free agent after this year, that they may not have to try to keep Freese if Kubica can hopefully be their everyday third baseman. I think no matter how high your payroll is, or potentially could be, but it's still nice to have a couple pitchers or position players that are young and you don't have to pay a lot to.
Yeah, minimum salary compared to $20 million is
exactly. Do the math.
Yeah.
And that one off Fegley's glove, rolls into the on deck circle, and now it's second and third. So just like that, Jesse Hahn can't find the strike zone.
Well, it's almost as if going out of the stretch, all this has happened because of that. Well, good luck, official score.
Nothing yet. Jim Young is the official scorer today. Always does a terrific job. Pitch is foul back, so it's going to go as a pass ball. Probably the right call. Would you agree with that, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, it's
not easy. But
I'm always the belief that as a catcher, you're down low in the crouch, expecting the pitch down, and when it's up, it's very difficult to react that quickly. But if you get a glove on it, I mean, catchers should be able to do that. And the only concern now is that you forget about that, because now you have a runner at third base versus first and second moving up as they did.
Two-one pitch, and it's fouled right at home plate. So now it's a 2-2 count.
A good location on this pitch. Kibitsa opening up, and that maybe helped Jesse Hahn able to get the foul tip.
So a big pitch here early in this game. 2-2. And a swing and a miss on the big overhand curve. So Hahn gets a big out. It's his first strikeout, and a couple runners stranded for the Angels. Bottom of the second coming up, 1-0 A's. By Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. Gorgeous day in the Bay Area. A's with a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the second inning. First pitch to Ike Davis is in for a strike. Davis, Laurie, and Fegley here for the A's. Second game back for Ike Davis off the disabled list. He was 1 for 4 last night. Taps this one toward the shortstop. Ibar charges, throws across his body, and that's out number 1. So Davis heads back to the dugout, and that'll bring up Laurie.
Hey, think about a player coming out of spring training. We always talk about the getting in shape, taking your swings in spring training, and all of a sudden an injury. Ben Zobrist, Ike Davis, a couple of guys, then all of a sudden you shut down. Coco Crisp shut down for a long time. Then you have to go through the rehab, get well. And Ike Davis said he had about 20 at-bats at the minor league level on his rehab assignment. But boy, coming back at this level, playing game number 71, you know where the pitchers are. And they're in mid-season form. And that's why it makes it very hard to come back and try to do anything.
And probably, I would think pitchers in mid-season form, probably, I mean, a veteran guy who's pitched a lot of innings, he's probably in mid-season form till maybe September 1st. And then guys may lose a little velocity.
And a lot of that depends on the standings, where they are, and if they continue to pitch. But by and large, it's not easy to go on the disabled list and come back, and especially at this level.
Well, spring training, I mean, hitters need most of spring training to get ready. And listen, if spring training was 2 weeks shorter, hitters would know how to accelerate it a little bit and get themselves ready. But
you know, pitchers are ready January 1st.
Laurie chased it, and the count 2-2.
And especially, I think spring training is for hitters, because pitchers always seem to come in ready to go and blow everybody away, and that's why you don't think so much about spring training.
This one's hit toward right. Calhoun is there, and he makes the catch.
New for this season, A's fans can go to all July home games for just $89 with the July Ballpark Pass. For one low price, you can get access to all 13 A's home games in July, including 2 fireworks games and the Hello Kitty bobblehead night. This is a mobile-only offer with all passes accessed through your iPhone or Android phone. Get yours today at athletics.com/ballparkpass. And while you're doing that, vote.
Vote for vote?
Because you have your iPhone and all your tablets, and boy, is this all-star voting getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, maybe too much now.
Wow.
It's starting to get a little weird. Lofted to shallow right. Calhoun in, over, heading toward the line. He's got it. A 9-pitch inning for Jared Weaver. So we're on to the third. A's 1, Angels nothing.
Already 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
So an afternoon of cotton candy at the ballpark. He's not sharing either.
Nope.
His buddy's trying to negotiate. See, take a hike. It's mine.
Look at my tongue. Like the color of the cotton candy. You know, they're promoting the fair. You know, you always think of the fair, but you can get cotton candy at the park. Get a lot of goodies at the park, and you know you could come and eat for 9 innings.
Simeon has it. Throws to first. Carlos Perez is out. So 1 away here in the 3rd inning.
Man, it's smoothing everything out, Marcus Simeon. And you know, one time, every time a ball was hit to him, you had to think, oops, there's the possibility whether throwing or handing the ball, but you can just see the hard work he's putting in. He's smooth at shortstop, and if you're going to have success on a team in the season, you have to have a good defensive shortstop. And don't think about hitting, just think about catching the ball. Strength up the middle.
Here's Navarro, the leadoff man. Fly ball to left field in the 1st inning. The Rangers and the White Sox are playing. In fact, that game in the bottom of the 8th inning, the White Sox are leading the Rangers 3-2. Bottom of the 8th in Chicago. Last night, a huge win for the Rangers. In the dirt. Rangers have won 6 out of 8. White Sox have lost 8 in a row, so they're trying to break that losing streak.
How does that happen with that kid?
That's a good call.
That's hard to believe.
They're 10 games under 500 and 11 games out of first place. So struggles in Chicago.
I wonder how Hawks handling it.
Probably not well. Oof. Tap toward Ike Davis. Reaches down, picks it up, steps in the bag. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, if you want to see a sinker ball, this is exactly what a sinker ball pitcher wants to do, because he's got a count of 1 and 2. Watch this ball and look where it is and what the hitter tries to do. He doesn't go to left field, which Navarro does a good job. Instead, he tries to pull the ball, but the movement takes it away from the left-handed hitter, and he grounds out weakly to first base. That is an excellent ground ball pitcher.
So 2 outs for Calhoun. And Calhoun got a breaking ball and lines it to center for a hit.
You know,
his second hit.
As Jesse Houghton went over to cover first base, and of course Ike Davis took the ground ball by himself. As he was walking back, he put out his right hand, and Brett Laurie was going to go over and let him catch his breath. And that is a true hanger there, and he knows it. As Calhoun stayed back on it, back up the middle with the hanging curveball. But you want to see either catcher or infielder go over if a pitcher sprints to first base to let him catch his breath a little bit. But I guess Jesse figured he's run enough and he's in shape. At this point in the game, didn't need the extra breath.
So here's Trout. Trout, a ground ball to short to end the 1st inning. And he takes a strike. Trout was 1 for 4 last night. He also hit that line drive that Zobrist had pop out of his glove. Turned out to be a big play in that big inning. So 1-1 the count. Albert Pujols would be next, but 2 outs here in the 3rd. Fastball a little bit outside, 92 miles an hour. Calhoun, a little bit of a stolen base threat, although running with Trout at the plate, probably not a great idea. I don't think you can have any situation where it may take the bat out of Trout's hand.
Yeah, it's one of those, you better steal and you better have a 100% chance of doing it.
Fouled straight back. Good swing there by Trout. So interesting note on Hahn. We talk about that fastball, the sinker. Check this out. Percentage of fastballs lower in the strike zone. That percentage has gone up his last 7 starts. In the middle, that's gone up. But most importantly, the high fastballs have gone down. And so has his ERA. So really no surprise there. Fouls back because really, Ray, even a fastball, even a sinking fastball in the middle of the plate, it still has downward movement.
Absolutely. And that's why you get the ground balls.
Yeah. So a sinker up is the only one that's going to get you in trouble, but as long as there's some little bit of downward tilt to it, that makes all the difference. Trout reaches for it, hits it high and foul down the right field line.
He's stayed alive, Trout did, but that curveball with his swing plane, if it's down the middle of the plate, it's probably going somewhere hard to left field, but that ball was breaking away from him. And if you're going to throw a curveball to Trout, that's the kind of way you want to throw it away from him. I hope that he grounds out or pops it up, but towards the middle of the plate, he just drops the head with that swing that he has developed, and a strong one.
He's a good low ball hitter, and he does not pull off a whole lot.
Right.
So he can generally handle a decent curveball.
Well, you look at elevated fastballs with that uppercut swing a little bit. That's why he goes down and hits balls in the ground on the lower part so well.
Lays off that one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Fegley. So full count, and that will get Calhoun on the move from first. Outfield has a little shade toward right field for Trout.
Well, the hard curve, and Fegley a good job of blocking again, and well, popped right back up in his hand. Kind of hoping that Calhoun would take the secondary lead and try to go to second.
So Davis behind Calhoun, who takes off, and the pitch is outside. Trout with a walk. So second straight inning that we've had a 2-out rally by the Angels. All right, here's our cold hard facts for today, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Grand slams among active players.
Number 5.
Alex
Albert
Rodriguez has 24. Albert Pujols with 13. Ryan Howard with 13. And Wes Beltran and David Ortiz with 11. Active leaders in grand slams. Last time Pujols hit a grand slam before last night was back in 2011 when he was with the Cardinals. First pitch in for a strike. Dangerous hitter, man. 12 home runs, 25 RBIs since May 28th.
Terry Smith, that broadcaster for the Angels on the radio side, coming up the elevator and talking about Pujols. He said, you know, he only had 3 home runs on May 1st. And so those are the numbers you're looking since May 28th, but going back to May 1st, and he has 20 now. That's to get away with curveballs that are dangerously located, and both times Pujols has taken them, and I wouldn't take a chance again. He buckled his knees just a little bit, and the ball, instead of breaking away, kind of stayed towards the inside part of the plate in the danger zone, because that's similar to the location that Pujols hit the slam last night.
Pitch, that breaking ball down and away. Good spot for that one on 0-2.
Oh, the hard curve, and that's the key. If you can throw it hard, you maybe get a chase. And Fegley showing his ability to block the balls in the dirt. Got him with 4 now, 4 blocks with runners on base. And Hahn retired the first 5 batters.
Pitch number 50 coming up by Hahn. To the backstop, not close. Fegley couldn't even get a glove on that one. Looked like Hahn just kind of pulled across on the pitch.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And overthrowing, pulling it, just And that's what like Pujols does to a pitcher, because you're thinking, I want to make the perfect pitch, and instead of just being a nice, easy delivery, he overthrew it badly.
So now the count even at 2. 2-2 with Ibar, the on-deck hitter. Hahn delivers, and that one's hit in the air, playable to center field. Burns goes back a step. He's got it. Side retired. So for the second inning in a row, the Angels strand 2. Bottom of the third coming up. 1-0 A's.
The 1965 Saturday, June the 27th. That's 2 weeks from today. The then KCA's club featured Bert Campaneris, John Blue Moon Odom, who will both throw out the game ceremonial first pitches. 20,000 fans will receive a Charlie O throwback T-shirt presented by Ross, which depicts the iconic A's mule mascot from the 60s and the 70s. What happened to Charlie O the mule? Here you go.
Sogard way out in front.
Well, looking forward to seeing Monty Moore. Cap, we really enjoy all the time Monty comes in. He said he's bringing some special things. Because Monty was broadcasting in '65 in Kansas City. He said he's got some special things that he wants to show us. So
he needs to get up here early.
Absolutely.
And show us what he's got.
Just get up here and let him tell us what. Maybe he'll bring the big banner again. That was
it worked best.
Never forget that.
It definitely worked.
Monty will be coming up from Porterville, California to visit us on that special 27th.
Ibar gets back. Shallow center field, makes the catch. Check out this play on the Sogard foul ball. We like to see how our fans are doing.
Now batting center fielder, number 1.
Nice, barehanded.
He let the ball come to him.
Yes, he did. He didn't go after it, didn't chase it. That's a confident fan right there.
Exmo brought to you by. That was pretty good. I mean, that whole line drive in Exmo, man. And then they caught an Exmo, get a high five in Exmo. He'll be calling you for the tape.
That's right. And I will give him the number of Comcast Sportsnet California. 0-1 to Burns, who fouled out in the first inning. This one's popped up. Could be playable in front of the A's dugout, and it bounces right in front of it. Kubica could not make the play.
Well, that 2x8 step is very dangerous in front of both dugouts, and you slide You see that step right there. It's actually got some dirt covering it, a lot of it, but sometimes nobody helped him. Isn't that amazing? It's a visiting dugout, which that is expected.
It'd be great if a visiting player goes over there. Come on, guys, just, just a little help. I don't want to get hurt. That will not happen.
No. And only in Oakland, with the foul territory, would you even see a player going that far.
That's true.
Wouldn't be talking about that being in the seats without anybody moving.
Byrne swings and misses, and that's the second strikeout for Weaver. How about this, Ray? Just saw this on Twitter, and you're going to be interested. The Seattle Mariners, who are struggling this year, right? They're second to the last in the American League in runs scored. They have fired Howard Johnson as their hitting coach and named Edgar Martinez their new batting coach.
Oh, my.
Just happened.
Wow.
How about that? So Howard Johnson.
Hojo
gone.
I mean, that's, somebody's got to take the fall.
It always happens.
Especially with a team that's not scoring runs, and they got Cruz in the offseason. They already had Cano. They traded for Trumbo. And that's after winning last night. I guess they hung on, right, to win last night.
They did, yeah.
But Edgar, of course, a superhero, but as the DH, and I guess you better learn how to hit the opposite field, because Edgar was one of the best.
And did he go? No. I'm just looking at the Seattle numbers. 14th in the league in runs scored, 14th in hits. He's not doing a lot offensively with pretty good hitters there. Could have been a swing.
Remember Edgar Martinez, when he would swing, take batting practice, he'd put the donut, which is a round weighted, and he'd put it on the end of his bat and swing.
Probably helped him hit the ball the other way.
Thanks, Tommy. There's your donut. That's basically a donut, but it's a weighted. Now, Greg, you can't call that if you didn't call the first one. How do you call that one?
So Simeon on the strikeout, 3 up, 3 down, and that's 8 in a row retired by Weaver, and we're going to the fourth. 1-0 A's lead.
Chevron Extra Mile, when the Oakland A's pay homage to the history of the franchise. Each throwback Thursday, 5,000 fans will receive a commemorative button highlighting an amazing A's player. For tickets and information, go to athletics.com/Thursday.
Have to wait till the next home? No. Yeah, next home.
Yeah, we'll be in Texas.
In Texas. Yep.
3-game series in Texas, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then right back home for our first real nice long homestand. Simeon scoops it, throws in time, and Ibar's retired. One away here in the top of the fourth. So interesting, though, Edgar Martinez.
Yeah,
so
that is interesting.
Not all great hitters are great teachers, and sometimes great teachers weren't necessarily great hitters, but
yeah,
we'll see how it works with Edgar Martinez. He was one of the greats.
Well, they have Edgar's place up in left field.
That's right. So the hitting coach has his own.
Yeah. I know Edgar usually has a huge charitable event at the hotel where the A's stay in Seattle downtown, and does a lot of charitable work in the community. I think he lives there, so it works perfectly, and he definitely has the back of a baseball card. I think that's always important sometimes when you have a hitting coach or somebody at this level. And I know when Chili Davis was hired, Bob Melvin called Jamal Weeks and said, check his baseball card. He's a switch hitter, was a very good switch hitter. And Jamal somewhere, I don't know which organization he is in.
Tapped slowly up the third base line, and a nice play by Jesse Hahn. He picked it up with the bare hand, and he throws out Giovitella for the second out.
Well, the thing that helped Jesse Hahn, big swing, long swing by Giovitella, and he is a fast base runner, but Jesse Hahn, we've seen him make that play, and usually a catcher will call off the pitcher, catch it or pick it up, spin 360 and throw a bullet to first, but see the big check swing and then slow getting out of the box with Giovitella, which helped Jesse Hahn make a fabulous play to get out the runner. Another ground ball out, handled nicely by Jesse.
So 2 away for Matt Joyce. Shift is on with Joyce, and he hits one foul left side. White Sox beat the Rangers 3-2. We're down the winner. Martinez the loser. Robertson to save. So the White Sox break that 8-game losing streak. They're now 29-38. And the Rangers lose. They're now 37-32. 3 games back of the Astros. Astros and the Mariners will play tonight. Keuchel and Walker, the pitching matchup there. Joyce hits one in the air, shallow left center field, tough play, and Zobrist goes into a slide, and he made the catch. So an 8-pitch inning for Jesse Hahn with a little help from Zobrist on a nice play to end the inning. Bottom of the fourth coming up. 1-0 A's lead. Both pitchers pretty sharp, Weaver and Hahn. Weaver's allowed just a couple hits. They were back-to-back doubles, and that's how the A's got their runs. Simeon a double and then Vogt a double in the first inning. But since that Vogt double, Weaver has retired 8 in a row. So Jared Weaver, 32-year-old right-hander, he resigned that long extension to stay in Anaheim. It was a while ago. It was a 5-year extension. This is year 4 of that deal, so he signed through next year.
And remember, he signed that at the objection of his agent. He did it on his own, and he said, "What's wrong with the money they're giving me now?" Which is a lot of money.
I always thought the player should tell the agent what to do.
Thank you very much.
Vice versa.
And he did.
He did. Good for him.
And I give him a lot of credit because, you know, we see his family, his mother and dad, watches him pitch every game. He's lived in that area his whole life. And so why would I want to go someplace else when I can stay at home, have my family, and pitch in Southern California? Yeah, all things are good.
He's got a family now.
Yeah. But
he really had a good year last year. He won 18 games last year, Ray, tied for the most in the American League. Kluber, Scherzer, and Weaver, all three had 18 wins.
And there's your changeup, okay, 3-2. That's Jared Weaver at his best right there. He came in with a fastball delivery, pulled the string a little bit, and just kind of a lot of motion, ball tailing away. Fortunately, Steven got a little bit bad on it.
So a leadoff walk.
This game today is similar to the two that he has started against the Athletics this year, back in April, and back-to-back starts, in which he struggled early. And it was the game that both games actually against Sonny Gray of the A's, but it was a game that Sonny Gray pitched Jared Weaver in the game, 6 innings, gave up 1 run, left the game just tied 1-1. And remember, Sonny Gray said, "I wanted to go one more inning because I thought the A's offense had a chance to break out." Well, they did. They ended up scoring 5 the next inning, 3, and we ended up winning the game by a score of 9-2. And then the next one struggled early, but settled down, ended up going 7 innings in the next start. So it's one of those that if you don't get him in the beginning, he's going to settle down, and Jared Weaver is that type of pitcher to be able to do it.
Yeah, he generally figures it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blocked by Carlos Perez. That walk to Vogt, the first walk issued by Jared Weaver.
And from Perez's standpoint, whether it's Arnetta or Perez today, as he moves nicely to his right to block the ball. But this is a catcher's dream, really, to be able to catch a pitcher that you can put fingers down and know that he's going to be around the plate.
That one hit high in the air down the right field line. Calhoun over foul territory, and he's just got enough room before he gets to that side wall out there, and he makes the catch. So 1 away here in the 4th. And that'll bring up Reddick. One other final in the American League. The Orioles beat the Blue Jays 5-3. Another interesting game. That was a 2-2 game going to the 9th inning in Toronto, and the Orioles scored 3 in the top of the 9th and then hung on to win it 5-3. So the Orioles are now 35-33. The Blue Jays, who have been playing great baseball, they're now 37-32. Pujols has it go off his glove. He still throws to second, and everybody's safe. Pujols went to the backhand, and if he fields it, probably going to go to second base, but it rolled away, and he hustled after it. But
yeah, just off his glove, and didn't hit Steven Vogt, and Pujols and trying to throw underneath, taking his momentum, and ended up taking him to the ground, and just could not put it in that big first baseman's mitt. But a nice, excellent play to recover, and for the big man to make that type of play. Good stretch by Ibar at second, but Steven Vogt hustling and being able to beat the throw from Ibar. So Albert Pujols, he hits the ground. I'm sure there's some concern in the Angels dugout. Fielder's choice E3 on the play.
So here's Ike Davis, who dribbles one out in front. Going to go to third, get the out there, back to first, and not in time. So Carlos Perez, the young catcher, a nice job getting out behind home plate, and he went right to third where the play was. And
I watch Stephen Vogt, and this is important because Kubica throws across the diamond, and you go to third base and catcher just like you do at second. Stephen Vogt, as long as he can touch the bag, he can do that, and maybe just enough to disrupt him. And actually, Pujols came off the bag, which is surprising, instead of maybe stretching, because Ike Davis not running all that well. But there's a play by Stephen Vogt, catches his right leg as he threw it. But surprisingly, Pujols came off the bag. Now, Stephen did that because he knows as a catcher, runners do the same thing on a bases loaded, trying to take out the catcher.
It's really no different than taking out the second baseman.
Absolutely not.
So now the A's need a 2-out hit. Reddick at second, Davis at first, and Laurie the hitter. Slider down and away, 2-0. Laurie hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. He was 2 for 4 last night. .393 average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He needs one right here. Laurie just got a piece of it. 73 miles an hour. That's tough for anybody to stay back on.
Well, Jared Weaver, I mean, it's amazing how he's able to pull the string, and you see the same delivery, same release point pretty much on every pitch, but he kind of drags the arm through in a changeup. He's going to fool a lot of hitters.
Curveball is popped up. Ibar fighting that sun, and he makes the catch. Side retired. So the A's strand a pair, and we're headed to the 5th at the Coliseum. A's 1, Angels nothing.
Like all the Kansas City Royals fans, now at athletics.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at athletics.com. Hey, did you hear? I heard somebody say that I guess the Royals are offering kind of a suite or something if more people can get to vote. I mean, or something like that to vote for your players. They said, okay, with the Giants, because he's a former Royal, is past Giancarlo Stanton. He passed Stanton.
I hope he's going to be in the All-Star game because of the Royals.
Because of the Royals fans voting for him. They probably have him on the ballot. You know,
Sure.
Let's vote for him.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy.
I've heard that the Royals announcers are actually doing the All-Star game. They got voted in for that too. Yeah. Fizz.
That's good. That's right. Is Billy Butler winning?
He's making his move. He's making his move. That sweet giveaway is going to get Billy Butler in there. It'd be interesting how that all works out.
I know it. It's
swing and a miss by Kubica on 3 pitches. Jesse Hahn gets his second strikeout. Both have been Kubica.
Cap, I will say, with all this attention, and it's a good fastball 0-2 going right after Kubica, but Jesse Hahn retiring now 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3 last inning on just 8 pitches. But if you're putting all this attention, giving all this attention to the balloting and the All-Star voting, and you're talking about a game that is so meaningful to determine home field advantage in the World Series, that's not good. I just don't think that's something that, I mean, you should be playing or having the best players play the game if you're playing for home field advantage, because that's that extra game in the World Series is huge.
Yep, I agree. And that's why how this is all handled, this controversy with any of the vote, are they all legit votes?
Yeah, exactly.
And this, listen, this is, we're not criticizing the Royals and their fans. I mean, what they're doing is what they're allowed to do, and that's fine. And other teams have done it, maybe not to this extent, but it has caused some controversy surrounding the All-Star.
Yes, exactly.
Swing and a miss. Big curveball. So back-to-back strikeouts.
That's impressive. Jesse Hahn, of course, Memorial Day, his first ever shutout. And he's got a 163 in 4 starts during the day. And there's that smile that you will always see, whether at the mall or at the park. Jesse Hahn.
We like Jesse Hahn because he says hi to you.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Calls you by your name, which is kind of nice. And that first pitch in for a strike. But you know, the Royals, Ray, they're averaging 32,000 a game this year. That's up 8,000 per game from last year.
Not surprising. I mean, when you go to the World Series and play as well as they did down the stretch in postseason.
Simeon has it behind the back and side retired. So a 9-pitch inning for Jesse Hahn, all of them strikes. He's retired 7 in a row. So Jesse Hahn rolling along. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. He's leading 1-0. of the 5th inning. It's a nice day to come on out to the ballpark. See the sunny gray gnome. That was the giveaway today. Some long lines outside the stadium as I pulled in.
And those people who have those gnomes can't wait for it to get dark.
I can't wait for it to get dark. I'm looking forward to 9 o'clock because my gnome is going out and I'm going to sit there and stare at it till the light goes on.
I just want to know how many people are going to take my suggestion and make driveway lights out of them.
You're going to have to buy some gnomes. There it is. So Sonny taking care of some of his fans. Perez grabs it in foul territory, so Fegley is retired. Sonny's a man of the people. Sonny's cheering for his Vanderbilt team there in the College World Series Finals again this year, trying to win it for the 2nd year in a row. So 1 away. Here's Eric Sogard.
Well, those fans don't know how lucky they are today. First of all, to get the sunny gray gnome that really lights up. And number 2, to have him pitch last night where he could actually sign autographs today.
That's true. He was probably not going to sign it if he was pitching today. That's just the way starting pitchers generally, not all of them, they sort of like to be left alone on their day. Some guys really want to be left alone.
Well, and that's a good point. Everybody is different. And, you know, when you take it out of that plastic, you got to make sure you put it back in the same way, because if you try, it will not fit.
What do you mean it won't fit?
Well,
does the plastic expand?
No. I mean, if you take it out one way, you have to put it back in, because if you turn the plastic the other way, it's not going to go. Anyway, that's what he did last night. And man, after this shot back up by Joyce, and a little smile, and he retired about 8 in a row after that, and that was until the 7th inning.
Where he caught that ball was very scary, because it was, you know, listen, it was right at his head.
Well, and remember, we were here with Brad McCarthy, and the Angels were in town. Was it Ibar?
Infield hit time. Thank you very much. If it's an infield hit, you know who it is. It's Billy Burns. This one of the bunt variety. So he'll get a bunt hit and an infield hit on the stat sheet.
And so much for the pop-up and the strikeout. Let's go to the small ball. I mean, that's simply Jared Weaver trying to glove hand the ball, get the ball on the ground, and everything else will take care of itself. And basically, that's Weaver trying to just field it quickly with his glove, and that's the speed that Billy Burns has.
So 20th infield hit.
And just go ahead and steal second. Let's just see if the A's can score a run, because you get this much, you might as well just attempt to go.
So Burns has 4 hits in this series. None of them have made it to the outfield. Simeon the hitter. Burns not going, and well, I'm not sure what that was all about, because the home plate umpire Greg Gibson called time, but then he squatted down and he was going to call balls and strikes. I think he was just worried about maybe Weaver actually throwing the pitch. Jim Joyce would have been long gone, which is probably the best thing to do.
Been shaking hands with the A's in the dugout.
Burns runs, and the ball's fouled straight back.
Wow. Well, what a great jump. But last night, Billy Burns 3. First inning, there's 1 against Matt Shoemaker. That turned out to be the beginning of a 3-run inning. And then this was when Brent Lawrie tagged, went to third. And once Ibar took a couple of steps to his right, no chance. And then this one, probably the best of all, is Albert Pujols reached up bare hand trying to get it. Could not. And that was a lot of fun watching Billy Burns. And Marcus, you saw him running.
Got to take a pitch.
Yeah, I thought he would be taken.
Now it's 0-2, and we just say that because with 2 outs, he's trying to get into scoring position for you.
Yeah.
So 0-2.
Well, Perez, you saw him, and he will probably throw from his knees if Butler or Burns does run.
Weaver with a hold, and then he has got a good move. sometimes just the long hold position is a good way to stymie the runner a little bit anyway.
It's very close.
A long hold. Burns thought about going, throw to first, and he just got back. He took about 2 steps towards second like he was going to go, and then he stopped. And we've seen Billy do that a lot, where it looks like he's going.
And you got to hurry and get back because he waited, and that's why it's a close play on the throw by Perez, and Perez will throw.
1-2, and he runs this time, and he got a huge jump. He had 2 steps before Weaver delivered it, and that's an easy stolen base for Burns.
But a breaking ball also, and maybe it worked to the advantage of Billy Burns with Weaver getting ahead of Semien. And on the go, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's 3/4 the way. Great jump. Lost his balance momentarily, and boy, he is timing his slide into second base unbelievably now, which is great.
2-2 pitch, foul back.
There's an imaginary spot. Okay, go jump, go. And he's got it. And again, we're seeing the umpires delay their call to see if they're going off the bag, and that's what Marvin Hudson at second did to make sure. And Billy, we saw him earlier in the season slide past the bag, but fortunately he has not done that lately.
Semien fouls back. You know, I was just thinking that. I mean, it looks like, this may sound kind of funny, but it looks like he's improved his sliding.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Because remember, he had some funky slides early on, but now it's a head first slide every time on the stolen base, and he's not shooting past the bag.
Yeah, that's the influence of Ricky Henderson, that man right there, and just having him around, and he's been talking to Billy Burns a lot.
Close pitch. Weaver wanted it. Now it's 3-2.
Well, that's the Greg Gibson strike zone, and again, as we mentioned earlier, Semien swung at a couple of pitches to get behind before he doubled in the first inning, and Greg Gibson is giving nothing in the upper part of the zone, or at least above the belt.
Payoff pitch, and here it is, and it's fouled straight back. So good battle here by Semien, who has doubled and scored and struck out. 3 strikeouts for Weaver. So it'll be the 9th pitch of the at bat coming up. And here it is. And it's popped up, and this should be playable. Pujols backpedaling, and Pujols makes the catch. Side retired. Runner left. And so we are moving to the 6th inning. Still A's 1, Angels 0.
anything. Fans will love the Billy Butler Country Breakfast Bowl. 15,000 fans will pick up the bowl courtesy of Xfinity Sunday, June the 28th, when the A's play host to the Kansas City Royals. Get your tickets today by calling 877-493-BALL, or you can log on to athletics.com/tickets. A lot of great giveaways at the O.Cool Coliseum. Oh, man.
I'd take a couple of those. I don't even know what it was. It looked good. So a good challenge inning.
If Joe McCarthy was any good at all as stage manager, we would have all kinds of goodies up here.
Yeah.
He just puts wrong scores up on the schedule that's behind us.
He's getting there. That is not Joe McCarthy right there. Joe McCarthy, our stage manager.
Actually, that young kid probably will go to high school.
Swing and a miss by Calhoun. So 8 in a row retired by Jesse Hahn. Settled in nicely. Facing Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. 2-pitch, high fastball.
As I mentioned earlier with Jesse Hahn, of course, a couple of starts ago, he hit 3 hitters in the same game, and it's the curveball to the left-handers. And while it's a great pitch down and in, it's almost like a slider to the back foot. If it's there, it's a good pitch. Sometimes going backdoor is even better.
So now 2-2 the count.
It's the worst thing for a pitcher to have 2 strikes on a hitter and hit it.
Yeah.
Because the hitter loves it, takes one for the team, and figures in the hole with 2 strikes anyway.
Just bends outside. So now 3-2 to Calhoun, who has popped out to second and singled. He had a 2-out single in the third, was stranded. So payoff pitch, here it is to Calhoun, and he gets this one into shallow center. Burns comes in. He's got it. Calhoun is retired.
Okay. The one thing about the game of baseball, some people just love the game so much they even want to spend their birthday. How about the 80th birthday for Joanne Prong, who she's from Gilroy, probably likes garlic, but she's at the park today, and it's her 80th birthday today, watching her athletics play. So all the way from Gilroy. So happy birthday to Joanne Prong, and happy birthday to. They wanted Sonny Gray Gnome to light up for
They
it.
just wanted to meet Sonny Gray.
Usually it's Mike Trout. But it is sunny day on a sunny Saturday sun. Oh, this is a beautiful day.
Trout got a pitch to hit, fouled it down the right field line. 1-1 the count.
I'm going to be thinking about you tonight as it really gets dark, and think about my partner out with his gnome. Lighting up the gnome.
Oh, yeah. Big night at the Kuiper house tonight. Shallow center. Burns hustling in, and he'll play it on a hop. So Trout hit that one off the end of the bat. He's got himself a hit. So 3 hits for the Angels, and here's Albert Pujols.
You can imagine being an outfielder, and there's that swing on a curveball down, and you're thinking Billy Burns a little tough trying to figure out whether it's hit hard. Can't really tell if it's off the end of the bat or not. Oh, there it is.
Light up your whole driveway.
See, I bet some families really came out in mass today just to get in line to get a whole bunch and be driving down the street and see something.
First pitch to Pujols, down and away. So 1-0 to Pujols, who has grounded out and flied out 0 for 2 after his big night last night.
And you're always concerned this part of the batting order. Calhoun made out on a 3-2 fastball, got it on his hands, then Trout a base hit, but you're always concerned leading 1-0. just part of the lineup.
Well, it's what you're hoping for is hard ground ball. Pujols hits the ball hard, does not run real well. But in the back of your mind, you're also worried about the damage that he can do, and we found that out last night.
And he's so strong, and of course the off-speed pitch that he hit last night, the splitter that didn't split, almost split the wall in half in left field because it was hit so hard. But he's just so strong and healthy, and the lower part is very strong.
And that one past Fegley, but he hustles after Trout. Thought about going, but once he hesitated, he did the right thing by staying at first. But now the count's 3-0.
And if you can get a strike, if Albert is not swinging on 3-0 and get a strike, get a ground ball, that's going to be a big play, because the reputation of Josh Fegley is one that's spreading around the league, and the fact that he can throw, and unless it goes to the backstop, and sometimes you get a secondary lead and you think you can make it, but his arm more than makes up for a lot of things that happen behind the plate.
3-0 pitch is high, and he walks Pujols.
Jesse Hahn has had his troubles in second and third, and now this inning, and ball got away from Fegley, put a couple of runners second and third. Did the same thing a little bit later with Pujols, and overthrew a fastball. Again, a couple of second and third, and the last one, ball that just barely off the glove of Fegley before he walked Pujols on 4 pitches.
And you know what? I mean, it would be hard not to think that that's not directly related to being in the stretch, because if you just look at it, all those times that we just showed, it was right after a base hit.
That's right.
And he went into the stretch.
You're right. Giovatello in the second. You had Calhoun in the third, and now this inning.
So something to keep an eye on. And here's Eric Ibar. A couple of ground outs for Ibar. And the first pitch is hit foul. So Ibar 0 for 2 today, 2 for 4 last night, so 2 for 6 in the series. He had a double and an RBI and scored a couple of runs last night. Switch hitter. On deck is Giovatello.
Ibar has hit a couple of ground balls, one to first and one to shortstop. Either one of those would help now. Just keep him on the ground, and tough to defend him because he will spray the ball all over the place.
Laurie even with the bag, and here's the pitch, and it's lined to center field. That's a base hit. Here comes Trout, and they're going to wave him home. Here comes Burns' throw, and it's late, and Ibar hurts the A's again, and we're tied at 1. It's about once a series Ibar gets a big hit against the A's.
Well, it was an off-speed pitch, and Ibar, again, tough to defend. Breaking ball, he just went after it, and over the head of Jesse Hahn at 6'5", still couldn't handle it. And, with Trout getting a great jump first and second, it's going to be tough to throw him out anyway. The important thing to keep it to where Pujols could not advance. And he didn't even look at his third base coach. He knew he was going to score regardless, or at least attempt to, and he's able to.
How about this note, Ray? At the O.co, in his career, Eric Ibar is a .342 hitter.
Now batting, number 12, Johnny Giovatello.
That's all time at the Coliseum.
There's only one active besides Ibar, and it's Suzuki. He's now with the Marlins.
UL Washington isn't playing anymore.
Mr. Toothpick.
Yeah, he was a good shortstop.
Yes, he was. Toothpick every game. Ryan Harper. That list too. That's an impressive list. Tony Oliva, we knew he was going to be there. He's hit everybody, everywhere.
So here's Giovatello. About the days of with the Royals of Freddie Patek and Cookie Rojas. Of course, Cookie's son is just a couple booths over. Victor Rojas, the announcer for the Angels.
Famous Amos Otis.
Yeah.
They had some good teams. they won in 1985 and they'd had the challenge, the review, it wouldn't have happened.
They may not have won. You're right.
There's a case of a missed call that stayed forever because there was no such thing as a review or challenge. And
Cardinals and the Royals. Cardinals on the wrong end of a bad call.
Yep.
It was that game 6, I believe, right?
Yep.
So 1-1 the count. The A's bullpen is quiet. Jesse Hahn at 85 pitches. That one's grounded and it's just foul. So now 1-2. Hahn's pitch kind of ran in on Giovatello.
Ideally, right on the bag, step on the bag, throw Giovatello out at first base, but in foul territory, called by the third base umpire Jim Joyce. It's across the bag.
Giovatello out on the grass, getting his warm-up swings in. Pujols, the runner at second. Not a lot of speed there. Ibar at first. Curve. Fegley with a nice block.
Another curveball, another block, and Fegley, that's a saver there because it keeps a double play in order and keeps another runner from getting to scoring position.
Matt Joyce, a left-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. A run in for the Angels. That was bounced up the middle. Simeon has it. Steps on the bag, and that's a double play. So Hahn limits the damage to just the 1 run. So bottom of the 6th coming up. A's 1, Angels 1.
Jesse Hahn, a ground ball pitcher. Michael Zagaris getting in the way of our shot. But there is exactly what the A's were looking for, a 6-3 double play to get out of an inning. And Jesse Hahn, his 10th ground ball out. And it was a good one, as this would result in 2 ground ball outs with a double play with Giovatello. And good play about Simeon there, taking it himself close enough to the bag to take it. And that is your forward right choice. Thank you, Michael Z, for getting the photograph and getting out of the way.
I think it's important for Michael Zagaris to be part of that promotional item.
Especially
his
the back.
timing is unbelievable.
Especially the backside of Michael Z. Guns and flying.
Look out. Get tickets to the show. He has impeccable timing, I tell you. Vogt, Zobrist, and Reddick against Weaver, and there's a line drive and a base hit by Vogt. So Vogt double walk single, and he's hot.
Well, and Stephen Vogt, and we've talked last week or so, kind of, where he made some changes, and one of the changes said, I'm going to wait till the ball comes to me, and he's staying back so well, and you have to do that with a pitcher like Jared Weaver, who himself in 5 innings, 10 fly ball outs, so he's a fly ball pitcher. But Stephen staying back, hooking it down the corner as he did his double to score Simeon in the first inning, and gets a single leading off the 6th.
So good start for the ace. Here's Zobrist, who has hit a fly ball to center and a fly ball to right. Reached base in all 31 home games as Stephen Vogt.
That pine tar on his helmet attracts dirt. That's a signal. Remember, he doesn't wear batting gloves, so it's like the Ozzie Guillen helmet that's
a little extra pine tar.
Yeah, so you mix the pine tar and Playwood's dirt on the infield, and that's what you get. It's amazing today's world when you see hitters, position players, and of course today he's DHing Vogt is, so it's not an issue, but you get all that pine tar on your fingers.
It's tough to get off.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to get it off, and especially if you're throwing.
Pujols has it. He spins. He throws to second and gets the out there on Vogt. So one away here in the 6th. Zobrist now at first base.
Now batting right fielder, 22, Josh Reddick.
Well, Pujols this time coming up with the ball clean enough to throw to second to get the lead runner.
So Reddick steps in. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout, and then he reached on an error in the 4th inning. Reddick was 0 for 5 last night. He got 5 hits in his last 32 at bats. Kind of the ebb and flow of being a everyday player in the big leagues. Hot streaks, cold streaks. And that one is hit toward left, and that's going to get down. Zobrist headed for third, and they're going to wave him home. And he's going to score as the throw is late. And Reddick with a big double to give the A's the lead right back at 2-1.
Stay on the ball, Josh Reddick. Go opposite field. Watch him stay on this breaking ball. And they saw it outside and shot it to left field. And once he got past Navarro, had a little trouble picking up the ball down in the corner. So on one hand, you don't want to take anything away from the speed of Stephen Vogt, but Ben Zobrist, even with the left knee surgically repaired, a little bit longer strides, picked up Mike Gallego, and Gallego was able to see Navarro not pick up the ball clean enough, and he was able to score. How about that? There's your alternate jersey, and Josh Reddick likes it very much, especially going opposite field again. Remember, they shift him pretty much all the time.
So here's Davis, still only 1 out. Reddick gets his 42nd RBI, so he's grabbed that lead right back. Cam Bedrosian loosening up quickly. Davis is 0 for 2. Missed again in the count. 1-1. First pitch was a strike. Davis has grounded out and then reached on a fielder's choice. Change up, and it drops in there for a strike at 76 miles an hour.
Oh, if you could look for that or be thinking about it, and even way back anyway and adjust late. It kind of floated in, but like Davis said, something else on his mind on the 1-1 pitch.
Missed inside with 83 miles an hour to even the count 2-2.
Okay, this is where a hitter, after being on the disabled list, runner at scoring position, this is when Ike Davis wants to really come through, and they're shifting him to the right side, and Hayes would love nothing better to have him come through with a hit. Got a hit last night up the middle.
This one's popped up foul and dropped near the pitcher's mound in the A's bullpen. Happy fan. And a Josh Reddick fan as well. Now everybody's happy. Youngster ends up with the baseball. 2-2 pitch. Good take by Davis. That changeup, he watched it drop out of the strike zone.
Kind of went into the Billy Burns mode of throwing his bat at the ball in the previous one that he fouled, and then took a nice changeup. He's got to be thinking off speed again.
It's contagious.
Yes, it is.
Swing and a miss. He stayed right with the changeup. How about that? So that is 4 strikeouts for Weaver, and boy, that has to be frustrating for a hitter.
And you know, whether or not he figured it was coming, the way he swung at it, maybe not, but he went after it, tried to at least foul it off as he had done the previous 2-2 pitch when he got to 3-2, and first base open, right-handed batter, just really, and Jared Weaver, I mean, you look at everything in that at bat.
Oh, there's a base hit left center field. Reddick's going to come around to score. The ball's going to go all the way to the wall, and Laurie slides feet first into second base with a double.
Is he a beauty or what? The dugout. I mean, a great hit by Brett Laurie. A breaking ball, stayed back and roped it to left center. And Mike Trout started and had no chance to cut the ball off. And there is nobody near second base. Trout comes up with it, but yet Brett Laurie, he's going to make sure he goes into second base with the slide.
So Weaver is done.
That's beautiful.
5 2/3. Check it out. Never know. Could be a close play at second.
Nobody around. Good way to stop himself, huh? That's great. Love the energy. Love the big hit.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in.
Is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So the A's have knocked Weaver out of the game with a couple of runs here in the bottom of the 6th. So 3-1. Right at 100 pitches for Weaver. And Fegley hits one down the left field line, and this is going to get another run home. And it's going to be another double for the A's. So Laurie scores on the Phegley double. It's 4-1. So one pitch thrown by Bedrosian, and he gives up an RBI double.
Well, on a hanging curveball, and Josh Phegley smoked it. And that's a big run again. These last two coming with 2 outs. And you're right, Cap. The best thing the A's could do is retake the lead after the Angels had tied it. Not only got a 1-run lead, but also there's the double. Brett Lawrie scoring 1. Josh Phegley just scored him, and just keep running through home plate, big boy. Didn't slide into home either.
So now Sogard will hit. 7th man to bat in the inning. Sogard is 0 for 2. He was 0 for 3 last night, so looking for his first hit in the series. There's a strike. So 3 doubles and a single in this inning alone. 4 hits, and for the game, the A's now have 7 hits. Two and 1 to Sogard. Got a no-hitter alert in Major League Baseball. Max Scherzer has actually it's a perfect game through 7 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Washington. So we'll keep an eye on that. And now 3 and 1. So Max Scherzer, who's really having a nice year, his first year in Washington.
Mike Scioscia used 4 relievers last night. Helped them get the win. They got 5 relievers following Shoemaker, but Bedrosian not one of those 5, and that's why he's in this game in relief of Weaver today.
And there's a base hit left field. Navarro charges. They're waving home Phegley. The throw is there, the tag, and they got him. Close play at home.
Bob Melvin's going to check it out.
So Bob Melvin is going to have his gang in the video room take a look, and they're going to say no. So Phegley thrown out at the plate, but the A's scored 3 times in the 6th inning, and now as we head to the 7th, it's the A's 4th and the Angels 1. It was April 16th against these Angels. Remember this play? That was Marco Scutaro laying down the bunt.
Yeah.
Ball was thrown down the right field line, and Nick Swisher would score all the way from first base. Oh, that was a great pitcher's duel between Washburn and Hardin.
And that was Shields. I mean, that's the reason the Angels never had a lefty, because they had Shields pitching.
He was good.
He was outstanding. And Jesse Hahn's outstanding today, and he wants to keep it now that he has a 3-run lead. And 1-0, made it 1-1. The A's added 3 last inning, and a big double play with first and second. by Jesse Hahn. So
Laurie grabs it, throws to first, and it's not quite dug out by Ike Davis. Laurie was playing a little shift, so it was kind of a cue shot almost from Joyce. So Laurie really had to hustle over and then kind of a strange angle to throw to first base.
A big swing by Joyce, and you're right, and that's a tough error. That's not an error.
That is not an error.
I mean, to the difficulty of the play. I mean, they're saying because the ball bounced, but you have to look at the way he had to make the play, and that's not a good error to give to anybody. That's a tough play.
Yeah, that is not a regular charge in and make the play. He had to come at a much different angle than just charging straight in, and that makes the throw even tougher.
And that's why the shifts it does make it difficult on the players and also on official scores, because it's not routine.
Here's Kyle Kubica. Pitches outside, 2-0 to Kubica, who has struck out twice.
The unfortunate thing, though, Jesse Hahn has to get back in the stretch immediately in this 7th inning, and that has been a tough time for him. The 3 innings that he has pitched out of the stretch, he's had 1, 2, 3 innings. But the other 3, he's been in the stretch and he's had some difficulties.
Swing and a miss. 2-0, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So Hahn really challenged him with the fastball. 92 pitches. Bullpen is quiet. Carlos Perez, the right-handed hitter, will be next. After Perez, it will be the top of the order, Navarro. So 2-1 the count to Kyle Kubica. Swing and a miss.
You could describe his swing as long.
Yeah, it is long. Yep.
And talk about short and sweet, but this is a long swing and has a little hitch in his load, and sometimes that's why a good fastball is thrown by him. And you look at that swing when it's long like that, you'd say don't throw him anything off speed, because he can catch up to it, speed up his bat because of it, and nothing else. Elevate a fastball makes it a little bit more difficult.
Curve, strike 3 call, dropped right onto the outside corner.
Now, if he can take it, that's a good pitch, which he did, and it's a big strikeout. Here's the play at the plate. Navarro, strong throw to the plate. Sogard going opposite field. Navarro playing relatively shallow and able to charge the ball nicely. Fegley, watch his slide. Can it go straight in and able to tag the leg was Perez. Guys at times will slide around or outside and reach back and tag with the hand, but see, he went in with his leg, and Perez made a very, very good play. The A's were going to challenge it, decided against it, and rightfully so. But when you go straight in with a slide, Perez had to reach, and so he's able to tag his leg. If he, I've seen Eatroyd actually go and take the hand and go over the tag because Perez went straight to the front of the plate and made the play. Navarro making a good throw, Perez a good play, and playing shallow in left field helped.
Huge foul, so out ahead 0-2. Perez has grounded out and struck out. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts for Hahn. The run came last inning. Ibar's single. Couple outs are big outs to get because of where the Angels are in the lineup. Calhoun and Trout lurking. Grounded to Simeon. Scoops it up, shovels second, back to first, double play. So Jesse Hahn gets the double play. Nicely done. And the Angels do not score. 7th inning stretch coming up. Seventh inning. Cam Bedrosian back out there. Bedrosian faced a couple of hitters in the 6th inning. Got his lone out with Fegley being thrown out at the plate. So he faces Burns, who taps one out in front. Infield hit time, maybe. Yes.
That is absolutely incredible, isn't it?
So it was a very close play at first base.
And there's another hesitation at first base also. And as a hit, oh, let's make it safe. After all, this is Billy Burns running. Good play by Bedrosian. And I mean, that's like a forever call at first base. Bedrosian made a good play. It was bang bang. And the fact that, well, I also saw Pujols bobble the ball, and that probably was the reason that it wasn't delayed. Now you look at that last replay with the herd throw by Bedrosian.
So 3 infield hits last night, 2 infield hits today for Burns.
He actually hit a ball to left field last night. That's the only one that left the infield.
It was a fly ball. See,
fly ball, and it popped up to third. So that was foul.
Kangaroo court fine every time Billy Burns hits a fly ball to the outfield.
We talked about D. Gordon last night with 26 infield hits, and Burns with 5 in 2 games. He may catch him before the homestand ends.
Simeon doubled and scored in the first. Struck out and fouled out after that. 1 for 3. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. That game in Washington, Max Scherzer is now perfect through 8 innings against the Pirates. And Simeon swings and misses. So Bedrosian gets the strikeout. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
And Mike Scioscia out quickly to make another move. A good fastball from Bedrosian, and that is that quickly.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and repair experts.
6th inning. That was the big one for the A's. Tie score 1-1. Josh Reddick with a RBI double, scoring Ben Zobrist from first, and then Brett Lawrie with a double to left center field. And this is the beauty of this play, as coming around to score was Reddick, and nobody near the man sliding into second, but he did it nicely. And then Josh Phegley gets Bogosian a first pitch double down the left field line on a hanging curveball. A's 4-1, 9 hits and 1 error that shouldn't have been an error, but the A's have in that column anyway. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
So the Angels go to the left-hander Cesar Ramos to face Vogt. Vogt has not been retired today. He's doubled, walked, and singled. His double knocked in a run in the first inning. So the A's with a 4-1 lead thanks to their 3-run 6th inning. Burns, the runner at first. He's already got a stolen base today. And this one's popped up. Shallow right center. Giovatello backpedaling, and he's not going to get it. Calhoun's not going to get it. And it goes as a base hit.
And when you're hot, you're hot.
So Vogt is 3 for 3.
Now there's a sun up there. That's called the sun in the day game. They're all looking up, and yes, it's bright. And Stephen Vogt, kind of in no man's land. Trout kind of in the end, and then Calhoun really had to turn it on. He could not get to it. Fortunately, Billy Burns about halfway to second base, and once the ball dropped, he could get safely into second, giving Stephen Vogt a base hit. That is not surprising, because after all, it was believing in Stephen Vogt that got the hit.
So here's Zobrist.
And the old saying, when the ball's up in the air that long, should be caught. But nicely placed by Stephen Vogt. Giovatello got out of the way. There's no way Calhoun, playing as deep as he was going to get to the ball.
Zobrist looking for his first hit. He did reach on a fielder's choice and score in the 6th. A little bit outside, 2-0. Reddick will be next. Both bullpens are quiet. Zobrist checks his swing, pitches outside. So now it's 3-0. Zobrist has a right-handed hitter this year, a .263 average. As a left-handed hitter, .242. Only 38 bats from the right side. Burns goes, and the throw is safe, but it doesn't matter. The pitchers call the ball. So no stolen base, just a walk by Zobrist to load the bases with 1 out.
Mike Scioscia is going to check something. I don't know if it's ball 4. I guess he's making the change, but he went in the dugout as if he was going to ask the call upstairs, but
so Sam Fuld is going to pinch run for Zobrist. So Fuld will then stay in the game.
And that's a good move. Get Ben Zobrist off the legs and have a long run from first to home, and at first base again.
And off of Ramos, Burns was going back, and since it was a line drive and it scooted off Ramos, so the play goes home and they force out Burns. So Reddick hit it right on the button. And they're checking to see if Ramos is okay.
They did knock it down, and from his standpoint kept it close. And really, Billy Burns, all he could do is that, and that is make sure he didn't know if it was going through or not. Thought it was caught, was going to go back to third, and then at that point he was out easily. And Billy Butler is going to come up to pinch it for Ike Davis.
He's trying to I don't want to say busted open after what happened last night.
No.
How about this? Cushion the lead.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was thinking that, Kev, because when you come back down 7-2 against one of the best pitchers in the game, you score 8 in the 7th, you end up scoring 10 unanswered runs. You never feel that you're down.
Yeah, that's right.
The game of baseball, you always get the chance because it's called outs and not time. So, right, Davis 0 for 3 and
so here's Butler, who takes down and in. So Vogt is now at third. Fold, the pinch runner, at second. Reddick at first. So the A's with a couple of hits and a walk, but have yet to score here in the bottom of the 7th.
And this is an interesting move because with Jesse Hahn pitching, of course, he looks like he's going out for the 8th. Does Billy Butler go to first? Because Stephen Vogt is a DH. You'll have Mark Canha, Muncy, guys that can do that. So this may be just trying to get the big hit and put in somebody at first base and let Butler have his 1 at bat in this game. Those are the options that Bob Melvin has because he does have Canha and Muncy. It's his 2 catchers in the lineup today.
So 1-1 to Butler. Butler hitting .256 with 5 homers, 32 RBIs. Big breaking ball. He swings and misses. Always in the dirt. Butler goes for a little walk, regroups. Cesar Ramos trying to get out of the jam. And swings and misses. Did he get a piece of it? No, he did not. So Butler strikes out. And that's how the inning ends, with the A's leaving the bases loaded. 8th inning coming up. It's still 4-1, the A's lead. Hit the top of the 8th inning. So Fold, who pinch ran, is now in left, and the new first baseman is Max Muncy. So Fold in left, Muncy at first, Hahn still on the mound. So top of the order for the Angels. Navarro waits, first pitch up and away. Navarro has grounded out twice and hit a fly ball to left field. outside again, 2-0. See who's warming up for the A's.
Side dude.
Tyler Clippard.
May go straight to the big ball.
Well, and who knows? I mean, it may be one of those situations where you look at who's batting in the 8th inning.
Right.
And in this inning, it's Navarro, Calhoun, Trout, and maybe Pujols.
And you remember a week ago tonight what happened in the 8th inning then.
Sogard stays down. Hard hit ground ball, 1 away.
It's a good start there.
So we got a no-hitter. Max Scherzer just no-hit the Pittsburgh Pirates. 6-0 was the final. No walks, 10 strikeouts, 106 pitches. And it was interesting. We saw it on the monitor. He had a perfect game going, and he was ahead in the count of the last hitter, and he threw a slider that just nicked the elbow of Jose Tabata. So that eliminated the perfect game. So he was literally 1 strike away from a perfect game. Tabata did very little to move his elbow, quite frankly, but it hit him.
Wow. And the umpire didn't call him back like Ron Hunt many years ago, and Don Drysdale's
that's right. And they changed
58 innings.
So, but Scherzer got the no-hitter. He retired the next hitter. So congratulations to the Johnny Doskow lookalike, Max Scherzer. We've never seen Doskow and Scherzer together at the same time.
Well, remember Johnny Doskow, Max Scherzer.
See? Hit hard. Simeon stays down. So another hard hit ground ball, but a couple of outs.
Scherzer has 2 different colors eyes. He has a brown and a blue. And that is great when he pitched in the All-Star game. He had the pitch for the Tigers. He had the orange shoes on, and they did a close-up of his eyes. You can see 2 different colored eyes and the orange shoes.
There's a lot going on.
But congratulations, Max Scherzer, a big offseason acquisition, signing by the Nationals, and they gave him 2+.
And he's having a terrific season for them.
And remember, he turned down 160 from the Tigers and got over 200 from the Nationals.
Well, he's one of the handful of guys who has no-hit stuff every time he goes out there. And today, it worked for him. No-hitter Max Scherzer. Strike to Trout. 1-1 the count. Trout hitting in the 8th inning, up by 3 with nobody on base. That's a good thing.
106th pitch coming up from Jesse Hahn, and he has been excellent today, and especially had the E5. Again, a tough error on Brett Laurie last inning. We got the double play off Perez's bat.
Swing and a miss. Good fastball there. 91 miles an hour, but he kept it away a little bit. And Trout swings and misses.
Extra on the fastball, and maybe he sees Clippard warming up, batter to batter, and trying to finish the 8th. Nice.
2-2 pitch inside, and now full count.
Lurking. He's always the way he's swinging back. The big man, Albert Pujols, always there.
Outside, he walked him. Does Bob Melvin go to the closer, Ray? What do you think?
Well, that possibility, and he's going to probably do exactly that. And if he does, Jesse Hahn will get a nice applause. Crisply walking is the skipper. He does have him ready, and he's going to make the move.
So Jesse Hahn, 7 2/3 innings of terrific baseball today. As Clippard's coming in, and let's listen to the ovation for Jesse Hahn.
by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So 7 2/3 innings for Jesse Hahn, and now it's up to Tyler Clippard. For Hahn, 4 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. So a terrific outing for Hahn. But now the matchup is Clippard and Pujols. First pitch is a fastball for a strike. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Game number 28 for Clippard. He's 10 for 12 in save opportunities. 14 walks, 26 strikeouts in 27 innings. Trout, the runner at first. Quick throw there. Pujols is 0 for 2. He has grounded out, flied out, and then he walked in the 6th inning. Pujols lays off that changeup that's in the dirt. 1-1 the count. First 2 hitters in this inning, Navarro and Calhoun, both grounded out. But then Trout with a good at bat with the walk, and that knocked Jesse Hahn out of the game. So Clippard in the 8th, trying to get the final 4 outs. Trout with a good lead at first, probably not going anywhere. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. 2-2 the count, or 1-2 the count.
And that's guessing. That's guessing. Fastball, and he got it. He's going to expand, but he's looking for it, and of course up in the zone, out of the zone actually. But now Pujols, as hot as he is, he probably thought if he guessed correctly, he's got a fastball, he's going to let it go, and he did.
Hey, we've seen him hit that pitch.
Absolutely. As hot as he is, he can hit everything and anything. Great outing by Jesse Hahn, as we again detailed in our Oakland about his month of June. It has been great.
Little pop-up right field. Reddick is coming in, and Reddick has it side retired. Runner stranded, bottom of the 8th coming up. It's the A's 4 and the Angels 1.
Toyota dealers, how about this game? Again, Jared Weaver struggled in the first, but ended up going 5 2/3 innings, but the A's got to him in the 6th inning with 4 runs, or 3 runs actually. And Eric Ibar tied it with an RBI single to center field. But Jesse Hahn, the story today, pitching into the 8th inning, 14 ground ball outs, 109 pitches. Stephen Vogt, again, the magic wand, 3 for 3. Drove in a run of the 1st inning. And a big day for Stephen Vogt again. Toyota dealers, that is the summary brought to you by the Toyota dealers. And for Stephen Vogt, DHing today, talking ball in the dugout. I was talking to Jesse Hahn as Clippard got the final out. Albert Pujols flying out to right field.
1-1 now to Laurie. Laurie had an RBI double in that 6th inning. That's when the A's broke the 1-1 tie. Picking up his 30th run batted into the year. Taps this one over the mound. Giovatello has it. His throw to first just in time to get Laurie. No, they said it's a bobble. And Albert Pujols said, no, I was taking it from my glove hand, making the transfer. He was just going to throw it around the horn. So we're going to have a little argument here.
And Brett Laurie also was saying, because he thought he had beaten the throw.
So you have a close play at first, and you have the, was it a juggle or was it a transfer?
Giovatello, a very nice play going across his body. And Albert's saying he was taking the ball out of his glove. They're going to review it, maybe on both sides.
Yeah, because they have 2 things to look at.
And if they call him safe because he bobbled the ball and then call him out.
Yeah, I think he was making the transfer.
Yeah. I thought it was safe, but I think in looking at the replay, he said it was taking it out, and I think you can see in the replay that looked like Brett Laurie was out with the throw.
It was close, and it looked like he may have been out.
I mean, because the one shot we had where Giovatello threw across his body, that the ball was thrown in the glove with Brett Laurie jumping into the bag. So right there.
Yeah, it looked like he was just taking it out of his glove, throwing it to second, throwing it around the horn.
Well,
who knows?
As it turned out, last inning there was a similar play that first base umpire called it late, but it was also because Pujols had actually bobbled that one.
So Laurie called safe, and Chris Siegel, the first base umpire, he let us know that he called him safe because of the juggle.
Exactly.
What he perceived as a juggle by Pujols. So this may be one of those where, is there enough evidence to say that he didn't juggle it? Yeah. That's really what it's all about. Was he transferring it from glove to throwing hand? So maybe not that easy of a replay review. See, he's got it in his glove, and there's the transfer. So you be the judge.
And they eliminated that last year about halfway through the season, the transfer, even for outfielders, infielders, everybody. Brett Laurie looking at the video board, and he immediately asked for the review because he thought he was called out initially, which I think he was, and then the safe call with the transfer.
I think that last replay that we just showed, probably the clearest, and they're going to call him out. So Laurie heads back to the dugout. So it'll be a 4-3 put out.
Jim Young just said, review.
The call of the field has been
overturned.
The runner is out.
If it took 2 hours for a challenge, then
Number 19,
we'd be out
catcher,
here.
Josh
We'd be gone.
Fegley.
So 1 out, and here's Fegley. Fegley's 1 for 3. He had an RBI double in the 6th inning. He's had 3 doubles in that inning, and he scored the 3 runs. So Fegley now .287 the batting average. He really come around with the bat, Ray. He struggled early offensively.
Oh, nice play.
Nice job.
You know, the one thing he said, Cap, and it's a good point, because Darren Bush, the A's hitting coach, had been noticing him, and he said, you know, when you get to 2 strikes, you're really staying back, you're not striding. And he said, why don't you just start the at bat that way? If you're going to finish a certain way, you start. And of course, he jumped on a first pitch for the double in his last at bat, and he hit the home run on a 2-strike pitch in San Diego against the Padres. That was here. But basically, if you have a good 2-strike approach and you hit the ball hard, might as well start. And that's what he's been doing. It's really helped him. A lot of confidence swinging the bat. Doing a very good job behind the plate. And he was telling me that with Chicago, they took infield every day, the old traditional. Take batting practice, go inside, come out about 12:20 for a 1 o'clock game, 12:40. And you don't see that much often because they do the work during batting practice. But when Josh Fegley takes infield, he shuts down the game because they see that he can throw so well. We've seen it during the game.
Well, and I think that was the reputation with him coming over, is that he was a very good defensive catcher.
Definitely has proven it. Done an excellent job today of blocking balls in the dirt. As you well know, I have my catcher's blocks and
block counter.
I got him at 6 today. Vogt last night did a great job as well. Vogt had 6 blocking. So the catcher is working with Marcus Jensen on a daily basis and blocking balls in the dirt. It proves to be very big. Well, this is Thursday against the Padres here. This fastball down and in just dropped ahead, and it swung at 2 sliders, both away, out, maybe out of the strike zone, and he felt that the pitcher saw him swing and maybe take the 3rd one as a slider and thought he'd try to sneak a fastball in. Fegley got it before it got in and hit his 2nd of the season, make it 3rd.
So Sogard hits 1 away, and the first pitch is low. Sogard is 1 for 3. He had that base hit in the 6th inning to left field, but Fegley was thrown out at the plate on a close play. So Sogard was denied an RBI. In there, first strike from Cesar Ramos. It's been Weaver, Bedrosian, and Ramos. Weaver allowed all 4 runs in 5 2/3 innings. He's trying to even up this series at a game apiece. Outside corner, first strike. Angels will send probably their best starting pitcher to the mound tomorrow, Garrett Richards. He's won 7 games. He'll be opposed by Scott Kazmir. Kazmir facing his old team. Base hit right field. A hanging slider, and Sogard. It's a nice easy stroke. 2 on, 1 out for the A's here in the 8th.
Well, this is making a great adjustment on a hanger, and Sogard kept his bat back, put the foot down, and always the key there. If you're a hitter and you watch a hitter like that, to keep the bat back, even though you stride and maybe thinking of another pitch, but the hanger comes in, you keep your bat back, you still have your upper body, you'll be able to drive it into the outfield.
Okay, what do you think the major league record is for most infield hits in a 2-game period?
Well, you know they have some sort of stat on it someplace.
Billy Burns has 5 infield hits in the first 2 games in this series. That's pretty amazing.
Yes, it is. He's going to change his approach now. He's going to try to drive in a run.
Why? That's true. Infield hit would not get a run home here. Salas starts to throw. 25 pitches for Ramos. Missed inside. 1-1 the count. Fegley at second. Sogard at first. Hayes now with 11 hits. They got 11 hits last night as well. And Burns lost one to left field. Navarro is there and he's got it. So Billy Burns is retired. He's 2 for 5 today. And that'll bring up Simeon.
Mike Butcher finding out that the right-hander is ready. Salas, and Mike Scioscia, the manager, asked his catcher to go out and talk. So they're probably going to bring a righty in to face Simeon. Butcher to your left. Mike Scioscia, the manager. I think Salas threw a little bit extra. Last night he came in and pitched to one batter and got the win.
Mike Scioscia looking down towards Salas, just waiting for the signal. It's usually a tip of the cap or something from the bullpen coach to let the manager know. Maybe they're not going to bring him in.
Yeah, he's waiting as long as he can because he knows he has 8 when he takes the mound. Plus he'll take the slow walk, which, since he has not been out, really can wait until he gets the mound to make the decision.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and repair experts.
Players for the 2016 Oakland Athletics Fantasy Camp held from January 15th to 21st at the A's new spring training facility in Mesa, Arizona. Get out of the stands and onto the field. Create lasting memories with former A's greats. For more details, go to www.hendersonbaseball.com or call 509-993-7338.
So Fernando Salas comes in with 2 on and 2 out. Face Simeon. And Tyler Clippard came in the 8th inning, so Clippard will pitch the 9th. First pitch to Simeon is popped up. Foul territory, right field side. Pujols, not an easy play, but he makes it. So Albert Pujols makes the play. Salas, who threw 1 pitch last night and got the win, throws 1 pitch today. He gets the out. 9th inning coming up.
Trying to even his season record to 5-5, and he's on his way. Good curveball today. 14 ground ball outs. Did a great job. Jesse Hahn. The only time he really got in trouble was when he put runners on base, pitched out of the stretch, but had 2 big double plays to end innings. Came out of the game after walking Mike Trout. Nice standing ovation for the A's young left-hander or right-hander, and if things hold up, he will even his record to 5-5. Outstanding performance by Jesse Hahn today, our Honda player of the game. Jesse Hahn, our Honda player. Joe.
Ibar to lead it off against Clippard. And the first pitch is a fastball low to Ibar, who's 1 for 3. He knocked in the Angels' only run with an RBI single in the 6th inning. Giovatello to follow, and then Matt Joyce. Those are the 3 scheduled hitters for the Angels. And high and foul. So last night the Angels with 12 runs and 12 hits. Today 1 run on 4 hits.
Well, we were talking in our open that maybe the A's could do the same thing that the Padres did to the Athletics after the A's scored 16 on Wednesday night. Thursday afternoon, the A's could only score 1. So all the offense, same for the Angels last night, and so far today it's not been anything close. Laurie, this ball in foul territory. You normally just get it and make sure it stays in foul. So Brett said, I'll give somebody a souvenir, and just flipped it between his legs in the stands. Hey, if you slide into second with nobody around, you're going to make a play like that. Help a fan get a souvenir.
1-2 pitch, just a touch inside. Fegley came out of there. He was ready to fire it down to Laurie after the 3rd strike.
He thought he had it, and maybe Ibar was blocking the great one, Greg Gibson. Didn't get the call. Fegley thought it was a strike.
Now it's outside, so a full count. So 3-2, and Clippard kicks, and the pitch is bounced to second. Nice hop for Sogard, and that's the first out here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Giovatello. He's post-game live coming up right after the final out. And again, we'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon, 1:05 first pitch, Kazmir and Richards. Our coverage starts at 12:30 with A's pregame live, and then on Monday the A's will fly to Arlington, Texas. Take on the Rangers in a 3-game series before coming back home. So we'll be right back here Friday night for the Kansas City Royals. So that should be a fun series next weekend.
Well, the Saturday is the turn back the clock. That's right. With the Kansas City A's. Also that day is Faith Day following the game. So it should be an exciting Saturday at the Coliseum, the Friday night. And of course, they always have A-team on Friday night. You're a star, man. Start
no,
18.
it's not. It's more of a Vince Cotroneo situation on the 18. Vinny does a terrific job hosting the post-game show that we do on Friday nights here at home.
That's a bummer last night, though. That was that wasn't a very good one last night. But we got through it. There's the man.
That's the man with a 3-run lead right there. He's relaxed. Two and 1 to Giovatello. Pops up. Foul. That'll be up above the Angels dugout, about 12-15 rows. Mike Trout fan ends up making the catch after a couple bounces. But then there's times where you wish an A's fan would have caught it.
Yep.
So 2-2 pitch, and it's hit foul down the third baseline, headed for the A's bullpen. So Clippard goes for a quick walk on the mound. Climbs back to the rubber. Giovitella is 1 for 3 in the ball game today. Fouls it straight back, a high fastball.
There's a statistic that probably brought up with Johnny Giovitella. That's how many foul balls when he gets 2 strikes. Because he is the master at fouling off tough pitches until he gets one he likes. And he's definitely done that against the Athletics.
Giovitella, a little emergency swing, and somehow he got a piece of it. So the count remains 2-2. Check out this swing, Ray. Sometimes you just do what you got to do to stay alive. Hey, as long as you're seeing another pitch, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Changeup drops down and in. Full count.
It becomes another 10-pitch at bat for Johnny Baseball.
Here is the payoff pitch, fouled straight back just below us. So the count remains full. Good battle here, Giovitella. It's not an easy out.
No, he isn't. And Johnny Baseball for a reason, I guess, because if he ability to foul off tough pitches.
Another one fouled. This one just to our right a little bit.
Clippard trying to get a 4-out save, but Giovitella's not helping with the number of pitches he's seeing. But A's will take whatever they can to get a win.
So again, the 3-2 pitch. And again, a foul ball, just about the same spot as the last one. Giovitella, if nothing else, he makes the fans happy.
Yes.
See, that youngster's going to go home with his Joe Rudy jersey. It's all good. That's it.
He probably watched Rudy. No, he's too young. Make the play in '72 against the wall at Cincinnati.
See that group right there, no matter what happens, they're going home happy. Giovitella, a little flare. It's going to end up in the glove of Sogard, but he's out in right field. And Giovitella, got to give him credit. That was a heck of an at-bat, and he's got a base hit. That'll drive a pitcher crazy, won't it?
Yes, it will, especially to throw all those pitches, and especially the emergency swing. And this one just flared it out, change up through his bat, and found the hole on the right side.
So here is Joyce, who will hit for the 4th time. Joyce has been on base a couple times, does not have a hit. He's reached on a walk, and he's reached on an error by Laurie. So pitch number 23 for Clippard. And it's a strike. Kyle Kubica, left-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Outfield pretty much straight away. Just a slight shade toward right field for Joyce. Simeon, the shortstop, playing behind second base. Laurie shifted to his left. Pitch is a little pop-up. Simeon backpedaling. He should get there. He will, and he makes the catch. So that's the second out here in the top of the ninth. So one more out, and the A's get themselves a win on a Saturday afternoon at the Coliseum.
Now batting, number 18, Kyle Kubica.
So here is Kubica. David Freese, a right-handed hitter, has come out into the on-deck circle. That's Carlos Perez's spot. A's hope it doesn't get that far. Kubica is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He has struck out twice swinging and once looking. A's with 4 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. The Angels 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error. Swing and a miss. Changeup from Clippard.
Outside target, pitch inside, off spin, and good pitch by Clippard. One that Giovatelli got the base hit.
Fouled straight back to the screen. So now Clippard ahead in the count 1-2 as the crowd rises to its feet. Seen a good ball game today by the A's. They've got great pitching. Some timely hits as they take this 4-1 lead to the 9th inning with 2 outs. Clippard with a quick glance toward Giovatelli, not being held on. So Giovatelli will run, and the 1-2 pitch is hit in the air toward Reddick and right. Reddick backs up, he's under it, he's got it, and that's the ball game. So the A's even up the series at a game apiece. Jesse Hahn gets his 5th win. Clippard gets his 11th save. It took 2 hours and 59 minutes in front of 26,471. So a good ball game this afternoon by the Athletics. So tomorrow it'll be the rubber game of the series. Athletics 4, Angels 1. That is your final score. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.